My name is Tonya Khoury, and this is this week's Acumen Media Report. It's entitled Words Matter, Omicron, Unicorns, and Pixelated Yachts. Omicron, what a word. It sounds like a 3-year-old's pronunciation of unicorn, or is that just me? South Africa is filled with extraordinary people. Many of our scientists are the best in the world, and we discovered this variant of the virus that mutates like a boss. Imagine the lab where this happened. Scientists poring over samples and documents and having that eureka moment when they realized that this is the most vicious mutation so far. We immediately notified the world. We raised the alarms. Be vigilant, we said. Here's our record so you can get prepared. On any other day, they would have called us heroes for several reasons. The discovery, the early warning system, our transparency, yes, in SA, our transparency, and the clever minds that discovered it. But not today, though. We were immediately the villain across international news media. Words matter. South Africa discovers new variant of COVID-19, the headlines read, and within minutes, we were red-listed across the world. At the time of the discovery, there were 200 cases in Tshwane and a few thousand in Belgium and Holland. Did Belgium and Holland get instantly sent to the naughty corner? No, only us. Headlines littered our timelines of one country after another banning SA from travel. SA Tourism must have had a moment when they wanted to shout at those scientists and say, "Why did you tell anyone?" We did, though. It was a good deed, and no good deed goes unpunished. Red List SA. We held our breath as the president called a family meeting. Why do we even call it that? There's nothing personal about it. Ramaphosa takes hours to make a simple point. His 1 hour airtime could have been put into a single sentence. Congrats to the scientists. You shouldn't be punished for good work. We aren't in crisis yet. Please be careful. The fourth wave is nigh. Less than 30 seconds and out. Words matter. Here's the worrying thing about Omicron. Vaxxed people die too. The variant doesn't care if you're a Pfizer or you hold a J&J loyalty card. Maybe it's a unicorn after all. It's so vicious that the word mandatory has entered our vocabulary. David Makura said it clearly this week, and this was after the president told us no one would be forced to take the vaccine. Words matter. For the most part, SA has done its bit. Despite all the conspiracy and naysayers, we rolled up our sleeves and took a shot for the team. It's an expensive shot too, cost our country billions. I guess that we'll be repunching our Vax loyalty cards very soon, even if this time it's not mandatory. You're going to start seeing things like in Germany, where if you're not vaxxed, you can't enter anywhere, you can't buy anything, not even food, you can't get government assistance, and it's unlikely you'll be able to move freely from town to town. It doesn't have to be mandatory to force you to take it, see? I was still trying to get my head around the money we'd shoved into our arms that was now useless against this monster variant, only to hear that both Lindiwe Zulu and Sihle Zikalala have either got the virus or are in quarantine. December is here. Words matter. I've been binge watching the SAHRC inquiry into the insurrection. Oh, wait. It's not an insurrection anymore. It's July riots. No. Sorry, that's also wrong. It's called July unrest. Oh, hang on. Wait. EWN, Eyewitness News, are now calling it civil unrest. Any minute now, they might as well call it the Durban July and get done with it. What a farce. I've been binge watching it, and the police commissioner, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, disputed Mapisa Ngakula's testimony. Mkhwanazi said that Ngakula lied under oath about the number of troops on the ground. I was glued. But then he also went on to prove himself completely incompetent. The prosecutor asked him if he thought his inaction during the attempted coup d'etat deserved the position he held, and he said, "Well, I'm still here." When he was asked who the instigators were, he said they were dealing with 9 people. Not one of them had the surname Zuma, and even if they did, they wouldn't turn up, see? So what's the point? A waste of resource and my valuable telly time. Sapiti Spiti Evaluator, one of the influencers identified by Acumen Media as an instigator of the insurrection, is now suing the police. I kid you not. That's right, folks. She's suing for trauma and loss of earnings. Imagine, a nation shell-shocked, and now we are meant to cough up for her trauma. What nonsense is this? Arthur Fraser, remember him? He's the one who gave the okay to Zuma's medical parole. He decided this week to challenge the state capture inquiry. I'm not sure why. I mean, the prime suspect didn't testify, failed to appear, was arrested, never spent a day in prison, and then you, Arthur, you sent him home, so why are you worried? Zondo hater. Honestly, the Zondo Commission did nothing at all. Even Bosasa didn't get to court. Talking about Zondo, though, he is one of the finalists for the Judicial Service Commission, our new Chief Justice, last held by Mogoeng, who this week claimed he cured 2 people from HIV through prayer. Through prayer? Do you mean God healed them? Or has your God complex reached new levels? Words matter. And then this. ATM, a political party true to its name, put forward a motion of no confidence against Ramaphosa. Thandi Modise said the vote should not be in secret, but the SCA, Supreme Court of Appeal, had set that aside. The speaker, no other than Mapisa Ngakula, the insurrection denier, must make a fresh decision. Are we being played again? I'm scared. This is how ridiculous politics in South Africa has become. What I'm about to tell you is true. You're not going to believe it, but it is true. The toss of a 1 rand coin was the decider for Limpopo's political fate, and it's heads I win, tails you lose for the voters. The DA won the toss, and I'm still waiting for the kickoff. We literally tossed a coin, a 1 rand coin. NatashaThahane and Mac G had an interview, and Natasha Tutu's granddaughter dropped a clanger. She wanted to study in New York, you see, as you do, obviously. I mean, we all want to study in New York. So she put a shout out to Ma Baleka. That's Baleka and Betty to you and me. Ma Baleka hit her up and gave her R1 million from the bankrupt Arts and Culture Department. After that interview, though, she definitely got a phone call, a strong-worded one, because later Natasha released a public statement on social media to say that she had only met Mbete once and they were not close. So much for Ma Mbete, hey? She was schooled on that phone call, so don't bother calling Ma Baleka now for your study loan, okay, even if you've met her once. Mac G is making a name for himself as he appears in timelines twice this week. This time he interviewed Jib Jib on gender-based violence. Well, there you go. I'm not surprised. After the stats I shared with you last week, we don't care about femicide and the like, it's just clickbait. Amanda DuPont took to Twitter to talk about how Jib Jib raped and abused her over a 2-year period. There was no mention of the pics of Kelly Khumalo, and nor did Mac G touch on Senzo Mayiwe. Just clickbait, guys. Words matter. In other GBV news, a cop shot his girlfriend 9 times and then himself. The man who brutally murdered his girlfriend, dismembered her and shoved her in a suitcase, got 25 years. I have an idea. It's a wild one, so hold on to your seat. The next child rapist that walks through the doors gets medically castrated. Just one. And you'll see the tide turn on the 609-year-olds that were raped in the past year. Shell says that our human rights stand against destroying our coastline is nothing short of abusive. That's what they said. Please don't talk to this country about abuse. Royal Dutch Shell. Protests are taking place across the country this weekend, and Sodwana, our little town, will be out in force to protect our magnificent ocean and its natural inhabitants. To hell with Shell. Rage was off, and now it's on. Question, only have one. Why would you call the event to celebrate a brand new chapter of your life Rage? Words matter. Here's my story of the week. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said that South African illegal immigrants are making their way into Texas from the border. Clearly, no one showed the man a map. Let's work this out. So we climbed on a boat, stowed away for sure, got to Mexico, then we disembarked undercover, and we traipsed all the way up to Texas border and sneaked across. Look, we're pretty desperate, but that's just a fantasy. Some might call it a unicorn. Unless, hang on, wait, perhaps we sailed there on the metaverse yacht that sold for $650,000. Yes, some pixels got sold for almost 10 million rand, and it looks like it's drawn by that 3-year-old. I thought the idea of metaverse is that you could make things unrealistically cool. Nope. But maybe it'll get us to Mexico, hey? No one wants to go to the US anyway. I'm Tonya Khoury, and you've scratched the surface with Acumen Media over 7 days.